Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Coffee and Conversation with me, Kathy Jackson. Hey guys, don't forget, say hi, chat in the feed so that I can see you there. And sometimes I can see it when you're talking to me, but other times it takes a minute and for the words to come up. See, I was trying to do too much. Okay. I'm trying to set up my phone so I can, anyway, it's complicated. It's Facebook. But welcome to today's Coffee and Conversation. And today, guys, I really hope you tune in to the end because I think today is an important message. And I really just want to talk to people about talking to people. The title today is Are You Okay or Are You Fine? You know, when we talk to our friends, the first thing we say, when we say greet anybody, the first thing we say, hi, how are you doing? It's really a perfunctory greeting. We're not really saying, tell me your life story. Most of the time, we're just saying hi, right? But because people know that, then most of the time the answer is, I'm fine. However, I find that if you start to have a little bit more intentional conversation with people to really see how they're doing, you would find out that typically when people say fine, they mean, friend, I need an ear. That's my little acronym I came up with for fine. Friend, I need an ear. And this became evident to me because, we're still in the pandemic, right? We're still dealing with a lot of loss. All the loss is not because of the pandemic, but we seem to have, as humans, we have come face to face with death uh, a lot more frequently since the pandemic started, right? And so I have a friend who lost his mom. It happened back in the beginning of August. And, we're connected with a lot of the same people, and you get all of the condolences on the Facebook and that kind of thing. And I thought about it and I was like, this is really a friend. And I need to hear their voice. Like, I need to know that they're okay. And so rather than giving the Facebook emojis, praying hands and my condolences and that kind of thing, I was like, let me pick up. My spirit was pushing me to pick up the phone and call. And so I picked up the phone and called and I said, how are you doing today? I've learned when someone has passed away, how are you doing in general? We already know they're sad, right? But each day is different. So I usually start with, how are you today? And they said, fine. And before I could get anything else out, in that same breath, they said, actually, no, I'm not fine. They were like, this is hard, because they know I saw all the condolences on Facebook. And they were like, it's different when you're living it, And then he was like, I can feel everything right for the services and, that kind of thing. And wants to do a really great job for his loved one. And so that's pressure. And then when you're now the person who's receiving the condolences, you realize that, like, when other people had deaths in their families and I sent those condolences, those emojis, was that enough? And they were feeling like, maybe that's not enough. And so now they're feeling guilty. Like, did I do enough to help somebody else out? So you got that on you. You got the pressure to put it together. You got your family members. When people pass, people get crazy. You're dealing with that, and you're trying to have a good presentation, and you're just trying to work everything out, and you've got pressure, and you've got to call people and tell people that someone passed, and did you remember to call this person or that person? And it's a lot. And yet we expect, when we ask people, how are you? We want them to say, fine. So we actually had a really great conversation, And at the end of the conversation, they really appreciated that I had picked up the phone and called. And I'm not saying you have to pick up the phone and call everybody. You know what your relationship is with people, based on your relationship, you do what you need to do. But this was someone that I consider a friend. And so I needed to hear their voice. And when we got off the phone, they were really glad that I called. And it turns out that just being able to get that out helped, And so I have another friend who, it's been a couple months, but they lost someone close to them. And I have been meaning to pick up the phone and call her and invite her out to a painting set, right? To the studio, because what you may or may not know. Okay, I was trying to do this without my glasses, but I see somebody saying hi, so let me put my glasses on. Hey, Nashika. I was trying to be cute, guys, and so now I just have to be cute with my glasses on so I can see who's talking to me. But yeah, so another friend, I reached out and I've been meaning to invite her to a paint party, because I call them all parties, but they're not always parties. When we do it throughout the weekday, it's not a party. You can literally just come in and paint what you want. And it's kind of a real chilled environment. And I wanted to invite her out for a couple of reasons. One, I know that she had lost someone close to her. And two, I know the healing power of painting. What we do here, yes, it's a party. We advertise BYOB, kick it with your girls, paint, that's fun. But what people find out when they get here, if you're on the other side and you've never done a paint party and you're trying to figure out what the draw is, especially if you're not an artist, it's because when people come out and they do this, they realize the healing power of painting. It's about when you do something creative, when you're focused, it takes your mind off of your worries and it puts it down on the canvas or the paper or whatever it is that you're doing. And so it's healing. And so anyway, I wanted to invite her out for the healing. Hey, I don't know hey, Bradley, let me just say that. Hi, Bradley. Some of my friends be incognito, guys. So I'm just going to say Bradley. Hey, Jackie. Hey, I got a huge, thank you guys. Thanks for saying hi. So I didn't want to get back. So I invited them to come out one day during the weekday and come out and paint with me, because I know the healing power that it possesses. And, I just want them to be able to take part in that. And then we can catch up, because this is a person who I don't talk to regularly, but I reached out and called her. I'm sorry. I was drinking my water. I do have my coffee, but I really needed some water. So, in our conversation, hey, Andrea. Hey. Oh, hey. Yeah, Andrea. I would need to get in touch with you. Glad to see you. I will call you later. There is... So in our conversation, this young lady, she's an HR professional, which is, many of you know, that's my background. And she struggled in getting into her role. For years, she had a bachelor's degree, and for years she worked in HR as an HR assistant. And she tried to move up the ranks and get into being an HR generalist, manager, that kind of thing. But they kept telling her she wasn't qualified. And so she ended up going back to school and getting her master's in HR. And then when she tried to get a job as a master's in HR, they told her, well, you don't have any experience. Yeah, you have the degree, but you don't have the experience. Now, she spent several years as an HR assistant with a bachelor's, went back and got a master's, and still couldn't move up the ranks. It's a game. You guys know how I feel about corporate America, right? And so, but here's the point of it. during that time of her struggle, she and I worked together, and I was kind of helping her out. This is when I was still working in corporate America, and I would try and help her find jobs, give her advice, and we were moving through trying to get her into the proper position because she was more than qualified and capable of doing the job. It was just politics at work. And she shared with me that she had caught one of my lives, and I was sharing about the issues that I was having in corporate America. And she was like, oh my God, Kathy was having the same issues too. She never knew. And what that did for her, not that she's celebrating that, yeah, Kathy's struggling too, but it let her know that it's not just me. It's not, I'm not the problem. Because you start thinking something is wrong with you because enough people tell you you're not smart enough, you're not good enough. Hey, Cheryl, oh, home week. That you're not good enough. You start believing it and you start thinking there's something wrong with you. But because she now knew a person to, apparently she looked up to me and what I did in my career, she now understood that I struggled too, that I had to deal with the same issues that she was dealing with. And so that gave her, because she's still dealing with them, so that gave her some comfort in her situation, that she was not alone and that there wasn't something wrong with her. Hey, Leah. Oh, thank you guys for joining me today. I feel so blessed. But now, the point of that is, here's a couple of things. First of all, we never know who's watching us, right? I was struggling, but I didn't share it with her. Number one, I wasn't as evolved as I am now. I've done a lot of personal development to get to the point where I can openly share. Cheryl, I know you know. Cheryl says she is not alone. Okay, I'm gonna get there. You don't move me too fast. So, you are not alone. Other people are struggling. I didn't know that sharing that truth would have helped her, because she was striving to do what she saw me do. Because if you read my resume, everything looks great. Like, I had really high powered positions, titles with some really big companies. And on paper, everything looked great. And as far as doing the job, I'm always going to give it 110%. So I was doing well. It was just the struggles behind the scenes that, let me just say it, that you have to deal with: sexism, racism, and really people being threatened by your genius. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl say I'm a rock star. I used to work for Cheryl. She a rock star too. But anyway, so people are threatened by your genius, and so they try and keep you down. They don't pay you what you're worth. They use you and then don't promote you. They take your ideas and don't give you credit. And and all of this, you're coming to work every day, walking on eggshells, because as an African American woman in a professional position that is traditionally white, female, or male dominated, there's extra scrutiny on you. And whereas we might make a mistake, if we make a mistake, there's question about it. Does she know what she's doing? They're questioning your competency. They're questioning their decision to hire you. They're wanting to put you on a PIP. For those of you who don't know what a PIP is, what's a PIP? Cheryl, tell me what a PIP is. I forgot what it is. Oh, performance improvement plan. And basically that means they're about to put you out the door. Whereas when non-African Americans make the same mistakes that any human would make, they use it as a teachable moment. And so we're under scrutiny because we're doing excellent work, because there's no room for failure, which perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. So how is it that we have to pull it off day to day? And we do it with a smile. We still show up every day stressed, but we got our lipstick on, got our earrings dangling, our nails are done. We're looking fly. We make it look easy, but we're dealing with that stress on the job, and that's not even counting the stresses that you have at home with when you're dealing with loss of family members, when you're dealing with struggling family members, when you're you might be taking care of kids, a husband, and an aging parent. All kind of things are going on, and yet you got to show up on 10, looking your best every day, acting as if life is not punching you in the gut, so everybody around you could feel okay. Because the minute you let one of those balls that you're juggling in the air drop, then everybody's like, well, what's wrong with her? Is she good enough? Should she be here? She can't handle the pressure. I thought she was a strong Black woman. That kind of stuff. That's just a mantra they put on us, guys, so that we can carry everything on our backs. But we are human. We hurt. We bleed. We suffer. We cannot do it all. Keep your blazers and necklaces ready for video calls. That's right. We've learned how to dress up the screen. I love the earrings. My earring game is on 10 now, guys. But yeah, so we struggle with those things, but we're taught never let them see you sweat. So I never shared that struggle with somebody who I was trying to help with her struggle. And I probably didn't even think about it consciously as the way I do now. But number one, people don't always want to hear your problems. Let's be clear. When I ask how you doing, I don't want you to just say fine for the sake of fine, but I also don't want you to bring me down. But if you really need a friend, if you are a friend in need of an ear, then I am here for you. And guys, we have to be that for each other, because that is why we're here. A lot of people question their purpose for being here on this earth. Our here is to serve God, whoever your God is. I'm not going to tell you who to believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ. I invite you to join me on that journey. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to talk to you. But whoever your God is, you're here for a purpose, and the purpose is to serve your God. And the way we do that is by serving each other, by being here for each other. And sometimes being an ear for someone and to help them through the process. Now, if they constantly bend in your ear and they're a negative person, and every time you see them, they have nothing but doom and gloom, and you've talked to them and you've tried to share some things that to help the situation, and they're not willing to move on, I'm not saying subject yourself to that on a daily basis. That's not what I'm talking about. But these are people who, just like me, they carry it. They look like they got it all together. And usually when you ask them how they're doing, they'll just tell you fine. So, we have to be sensitive and intentional about checking on people, especially during this time where everything is in a upheaval in this world, right? We've got to have closer connections and really wanting to make sure that people are okay and that they're not just giving you fine. So my daughter-in-law, my new daughter-in-law, she did a video on her LinkedIn feed and sent it to Facebook. Her name is Michaela Jackson, if you guys get a chance. And she did a video that I watched yesterday, and it was called How She Stays Motivated. And so I'm going to share with you tips from Michaela Jackson on how to stay motivated and how to help someone else maybe to stay motivated, some tips that you can give them to deal with the stressors that they're dealing with. And let me say this to all of my ladies, we often don't like to believe that we need help, but we do. We suffer trauma. All of this stuff eating at you day to day to day builds up trauma, sets up stress, and it comes out in our health, our mental health, our physical health, and we have to have an outlet. So don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, to talk to people, because it's okay. You're still strong if you ask for help. As a matter of fact, the strongest person is the one who knows that they need help and goes out and gets it. So in that, here are some ways to stay motivated. I'm gonna give you 4 so you can time yourself, like how long she gonna be on this live. All right. So the first one that she says, and you guys, if you ever listen to me, you know I give this to you always. She says to start journaling. Like, you've got to get those worries out of your head and onto the paper. And that's the same thing that art does when you painting. It's just like bringing your emotions out onto the canvas. But she says what she does is she rebuilds, she self-assesses, and she practices gratitude. So she gathers all the thoughts that are plaguing her, and with honesty, she can put them down on paper in a journal, and she don't have to justify her feelings, and she don't have to validate them, and she can also write down what her intentions are and goals are. So that way, by journaling, she is able to remember what her purpose is and what her goals are. And then Michaela gave us a quote that says, people forget, paper remembers. So that's why you want to write it down. You want to write down how you're feeling. You want to write down what you really want. You want to write down, start brainstorming some suggestions that can help move you from point A to point B. Write it down. I know you think about it, but as she says, people forget, but paper remembers. The next thing she says that she does is she reads devotionals. She says you have to watch the information that you consume from various media sources, whether it's TV or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, whatever. You have to watch what you intake into your mind, even the music, because with all of that stuff, you're taking a steady diet of something, and what goes in comes out. So if you're constantly listening to negative things that are not uplifting, then when you talk, when you speak, those are the things that are going to stay, that you're going to focus on, because that's what you're constantly feeding your mind. So she says, read devotionals. And then she says, practice gratitude. What are you grateful for? See, yes, we have loss. Yes, we have struggles. Yes, we have troubles. But when you start focusing on what you're grateful for, I'm grateful that I get an opportunity to talk. I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to find out that me sharing a message helped her to continue on to understand that it wasn't her, that she wasn't the problem. And I was really grateful for that, because I almost didn't do this live, guys. I was like, I don't feel like doing it. But knowing that you never know who you help, I feel like it's my calling to do so. So anyway, and then her fourth thing Michaela says is shift your perspective. So by stop focusing on the negative and start writing down what you're grateful for. If you can't find nothing to be grateful for, be grateful that you're breathing. Be grateful that you have a roof over your head. Even if it's being threatened to be taken from you, today you got a roof. So be grateful. Be grateful for your health. It's not hard to find something to be grateful for. And then if you really can't, you shift your perspective. And what she says that she does in her downtime, in her free time, she goes out and volunteers to help feed the homeless. So if you're looking to change your perspective and you don't know how, volunteer to help somebody else. It might not be feed the homeless. Do it from your strength. One of my strengths is helping people in business. Oh, and this is a good segue. Here, I'm going to put this in the chat. And this is free, guys. I'm not selling anything. So just FYI. I put a link in the chat where I am going to help people turn their ideas into income. It's a workshop that I'm going to host in my studio October 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it is free. I put a link in there where you can register and sign up. Now, let me be clear. When Cheryl, she is the volunteer. I am in awe. Yes, Cheryl, guys, if you need a place to volunteer, Cheryl on the feed, message Cheryl. I'm sure she got something for you to do. Cheryl is the queen of volunteering. She really is. But you want to, hold on. So you want to volunteer. So I'm going to finish telling you about that, but just to sum it up, you want to start journaling to get your thoughts out, and you don't have to justify them for anybody. You want to take in positive, motivational things. You want to practice gratitude. And she said she put stickies all around her computer of verses from the Bible that motivate her, or positive sayings, just to remind her every day of who she is. So when those people are talking crazy to you, you can be like, I am a child of God. What you can rebuke what they talking about. You know that you are special, that God loves you and we love you. So anyway, whatever it is to motivate you, she's got stickies that she have around her computer so that she can remember who she is in those moments when you're dealing with those tough situations. So listen, for those of you, if you're an entrepreneur and you or you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe you're not, but you're thinking about it and you have an idea or you're trying to figure it out, this is like the base level workshop and it's totally free. You want to come up, go ahead and sign up. Now, when you register, it is asking you for $20, but that's because I want people who are serious. And so you will have to put up $20 when you register. But guess what? When you show up on October 2nd, I will have a nice, crisp $20 bill with your name on it. So I will give you the $20 back once you show up. If you don't show up, you do forfeit the $20. And that's the reason for doing it, because I really want to help people. We're going to be talking about what your business idea is, who you serve, and identifying your ideal customer. When you leave the workshop, you will be clear on what you do, how you help people, and who specifically you help. That is the basis of a business. That's true. You never know what people are going through. So if you are interested in that, please join us on October 2nd, guys. Go ahead and sign up, because I want to know how much all the materials that I need. And again, it does ask you to reserve with $20, but you will get your $20 back when you show up. It is a free workshop, free 99. So thank you, guys. I went a little longer than I was intending to, but this was a subject that was really close to my heart, because it just really had some really good heartfelt conversations with people I hadn't talked to in a while. And I wanted to share that with you guys. We have to be intentional about checking up on each other. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you think this is helpful, please share this on your page or in groups that you're in, especially the workshop information. If it's not interesting to you, if you know some young entrepreneurs or some old entrepreneurs, I don't discriminate. Send the information out so maybe we can help somebody else get started in their business. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next week for Coffee and Conversation with me, Kathy Jackson. Be blessed.